something. So they were just trying to establish that he was a neo-Nazi because people like Blair Cottrell shared him on Telegram. This article actually extensively quotes our show. This was in Crikey, which is a leftist journal.
Does anyone actually read this? I don't know anyone who does.
I think it's as I said before, it's one of those publications that people who are in left-wing politics or elite politics in general, they read it. So it's like there's two tiers of media in this country. There's the top tier, which is written by people who are in politics, people who are in elite society, and then there's the pleb media. And all the elite media is all paywalled, so the average person is not going to pay to get around the paywall. And so there's, as I said, a two-tiered coverage of every political issue in this country. They don't want to write too many articles about us in the more normie, accessible mainstream because it's going to make us look cool and it's going to help get more viewers on our show and grow our numbers in general. But they'll talk about us in these more controlled elite media circles a lot more. But this article was interesting purely because it had this whole... It was basically trying to say that we're influencing right-wing discourse and trying to like connect us to the Liberal Party or something. And it was a bit of a leap in connecting us to them, obviously. But what's interesting is, here we go. So much is distilled in a video created by neo-Nazis Blair Cottrell and Joel Davis some months ago and broadcast on social media. Seized with anti-Semitism and eugenics-inspired vitriol, the pair of white supremacists framed The Voice as something destined to supersede or dangerously erode the sovereignty of white Australia. On their telling, The Voice could rightly be perceived as the latest frontier in the ongoing war on white Australia, which, so their theory goes, owes its existence almost entirely to the anti-racist, multicultural agenda of various people drawn from the Jewish community since the fall of the white Australia policy 50 years ago.
God, that's a mouthful.
To the minds of... Yeah, but to the minds of both Cottrell and Davis, the perceived influence harbored in the pro-voice positions of former Attorney General Julian Leeser and prominent lawyer Mark Liebler, both of whom are Jewish, are the final threads that bring this disturbing tapestry of reality to completion. Anyway, I'm not going to read the whole
tapestry of reality to completion. I don't know. It's reasonably well written. It's actually, and it seems like a more enjoyable read than something like the Herald Sun, at least. But I suppose because you said it's not for the masses, it's for like the upper echelons of maybe leftist academia. It's, you know, interesting way to phrase things. But so what are they saying, basically? I love how everything's put in quotation marks. Like all the legitimate sort of perspectives that we have are always treated as some sort of wild theory or conspiracy when the evidence is actually just right in front of your face all the time. Yeah.
But what's funny is that they're like literally reporting on our worldview. Like this is half this article is detailing a discussion between me and Tom on the show.
Right.
You know, and
so they've
actually
sat there and listened to the show.
Yeah. Which is what's interesting. It's like our show and analyzing our show is like now like a national news story. Like our opinions on things. And, you know, Tom talking about how he wants to approach activism and so on. And it's interesting. Basically, the point that they're making, which is kind of interesting, is that we're the ones who actually tell the truth about the people who are voting no. Like, people are voting no because they're racist, and it's our opinions that actually correspond to defending that position. And the kind of conservative, say no to the voice of division, we're all one Australia, or whatever, is this kind of silly optical cope or something.
It's true anyway. Everyone's racist. Everyone's motivation is fundamentally racist to some degree. People vote no because they are to some degree racist, and people will vote yes because they don't like white people. They're racist against whites. It actually boils down to that for me. Literally, everyone who votes no is voting in the interests of white Australia, and everyone who votes yes hates white Australia and wants to see it mongrelized. Really is that simple. Like, why should it be made more complicated than that? Like, it needs to be made more complicated, obviously, in order to, you know, compel people to vote in a certain direction, to make them think they're doing it for moral reasons or it's ethical for that reason and that reason. But really, it's just everyone's motivation is fundamentally racial. They just don't really see it that way, or maybe some people do understand that, but they just pretend it's not the reason, you know.